but this was hands down the largest undertaking of my career. I have never ever tried to do something this ambitious before. I love you long time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Woo! So that little clip right there was from my final moments recording my last and final guide here in New York City of the Everything You Need to Know series. I am so freaking pumped. I just accomplished the last one. I'm here in Staten Island. I'm at the site of the Verrazano Bridge. I got the whole city behind me and I just feel so accomplished, guys. It's been 2 months. I started this project in the middle of February and it's like the middle of April now and I've just completed. I feel so overwhelmed. It took me so long to create this series, but I was able to do it. I pushed myself to the limits and I was able to accomplish what I thought was going to be very difficult, and it was the single most difficult project I've ever embarked on in New York City, in the world, on my YouTube channel. I feel great. I feel on top of the world, ladies and gentlemen. I did it. I accomplished the impossible. All right, my friends, excuse my crazy hair, but we're in it, ladies and gentlemen. We're walking and we're talking. This is another walk and talk. That clip that you just saw was actually recorded about a week ago, and I wanted to record it in my most natural state of like how I was pretty much high off of just completing a project that was so difficult. So today's video, I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit about motivation, about ambition. I don't want this to be too much of an inspiring YouTube video because there's a lot of other YouTubers you can watch if you want to watch inspiring stuff, but this project was really difficult for me to complete, so I want to make sure we're making a little video kind of summing it all up. Before we do any of that, let's roll the intro. Alrighty, so at the moment of recording this video, I'm actually inching closer to the end of my time here in New York City. I won't give too many details on that because videos will be coming soon explaining what's going on. I also just wanted to let you guys know, if you're new here and you're just watching this for the first time, this is a walk and talk series that I do on my channel that's sponsored by my patrons on Patreon. They actually send in suggestions and stuff to talk about videos. So thank you so much to my patrons for sponsoring this video. You guys are fantastic and such an awesome community. Now we got a train coming. What I was trying to say is that Patreon community has been growing so fast so recently. There's been so many new people supporting it. So I'm really happy that I kind of found a way to engage with you guys on that Patreon because I was struggling with it for years. But I think this walk and talk series has really solidified our relationship. So to sum up how all of this began really quickly, in middle of February, I think, yeah, middle of February, I was struggling with the content I was producing in period when I came to New York City in the first place. I didn't know what kind of content I wanted to make. I took a lot of inspiration from my friends that live here, kind of copying different ideas that they did, obviously with their permission. I found myself a month into making content here. I was making videos almost daily, and I wasn't like any happier. I didn't feel like I had been more fulfilled or anything. With that being said, I was going through something a little tough at the time. It was definitely a growth experience for me. There was a point in time there in February where I was dealing with something kind of personal, and I needed both a creative outlet and a mind outlet, a place where I wouldn't focus on this negative thing. Not that it was really negative, it was just tough to go through. For me, a lot of times when I'm going through something tough in life, I do try to talk about it and open up about it, but a lot of times I feel like it's better to hunker down, focus on something, put all the negative energy or the tough things, the sad things that you're going through into something good and create something out of it. So that was kind of the idea with this. To begin with, I did not expect this series to take me about 2 months to complete. I think by the time all the videos will be set and published, it'll be about 3 months time in. That's a long time, very long time. It's definitely the longest time I've ever spent on one single project on my YouTube channel. For one, it just feels like such a massive undertaking, and I knew going in, I remember the week I decided I was gonna be doing this. So let's just say hello to this beautiful view. Isn't that incredible? It's a beautiful day today. It's been raining for the last like 5 days. I remember when I decided I was gonna do this, I was sitting somewhere in my room, kind of sad, and I was trying to budget out the time that it would take me to complete this project. And I remember at the time I budgeted something like maybe 4.5 weeks to 5 weeks to cover all of New York City, all 5 boroughs, all the neighborhoods that I wanted to cover. And that's what I budgeted, about 5 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks, I think. And here we are, I think 10 or 12 weeks in, and I haven't finished yet. Like I filmed all the pieces like you guys saw at the end of the video, but I haven't finished editing it. But pushing through that and not giving up. During the time that I was filming it, I got sick twice, And that's because I was just pushing myself to my absolute limits. I was shooting every day. On average, I was calculating how much I was walking. It was about 12 to 18 miles a day. On average, how much I was just walking around, because I was trying to do this on a budget as well. And in the background, things that you guys weren't seeing was me trying to get sponsors for these videos. A way that these travel guides work on my channel is that they tend to get a lot of views over time. All of them do. The issue is when I put them out, because a lot of times you guys are used to seeing my face in the thumbnail, a lot of you guys don't click on it. And so those videos go out to a bigger audience of people. So that generates a less amount of views, which means less amount of money, especially in the beginning of the video when it's first coming out. So it was very risky when I originally started doing this, because I knew I would be in a way hurting my channel. But I decided to do it anyways, because it was a sort of investment in my future. Because I knew that these videos, while I leave New York City and move on to my next travel location, are gonna be able to generate revenue for me in the background. And so with that, I was trying to cover all my bases by getting some sponsors for the videos. I was also sending massive amounts of emails and messages to a bunch of different companies around the world to get sponsors, and luckily I've been able to sell off the whole series. Everything got sponsored, which was beautiful. It was a lot of hard work to do that. It was not an easy process, but I managed to do it because I pushed through it. I feel like now I'm on the finish line of this project. I have a few things to edit left, like I've mentioned, but the feeling of accomplishment is unlike anything I've ever felt. I remember when I first got here to New York City in January, at this time of the year, I thought I would be prepping to climb Kilimanjaro. And I will be making a video kind of updating you guys on that, because I know that there hasn't been much updates, and as you can see by my body, things haven't changed too much since I got to New York. But I poured the energy that I was going to do with climbing this mountain into something incredible. That I've mentioned this on my channel, like every year I try to do something a little crazy. I try to do something big in my life that pushes me out of my comfort zone. With this one, as I saw the Kilimanjaro plans kind of falling through, I decided I need to pour this energy into something else. I've said this before. I mean, I think I mentioned this when I first started it, but this was hands down the largest undertaking of my career. I've never ever tried to do something this ambitious before. And that's creating a guide from start to finish about every notable neighborhood, everything you pretty much need to know about New York City. And the goal was to be #1 for all those relative topics. So to be #1 for Chinatown, to be #1 for Midtown here in New York, to be #1 for Manhattan and Brooklyn. And it seems to be working. I mean, my plan has worked. I haven't really seen any other people on YouTube attempting to do what I did here, which is really cover in depth a collective series that's networked, that's connected together, that you can start from one point and finish on the other and really know everything that you want about this city, especially if you're traveling here as a tourist. All right, so before I begin any of the motivational bit of this YouTube video, I did want to mention that due to me finishing this project, and because it was very stressful and tolling on my personal health, my mental health, a bunch of things, it was just a lot of hard work. I am going to treat myself to my first proper vacation. And that was kind of the point of this walk and talk. I completed the series, I feel accomplished. I'll be working on uploading it slowly. But as of tomorrow, I'll be officially on vacation mode for a little while. I'm not actually even sure how long it'll be for. I'm just taking it as long as I need to. I'm just going to be trying to disconnect a little bit from social media and the YouTube space for a little bit, because once again, like I mentioned, it's very tolling, this whole series. With that being said, we can kind of jump into the more motivational bit of this video. If I can in any way give you guys a bit of motivation, I never ever feel like I should be giving you guys motivation, because I have a lot of things I'm working through in my life, and I'm still very young. I know a lot of you guys watching are older than me, and you kind of live either vicariously through my life or you're trying to learn from things. I'm going through a lot, so I never feel like the right person to give people advice, and whenever people ask me for advice, I never feel like I'm qualified enough to give advice, because I'm still pretty young. But with this project specifically, it has taught me so much about ambition and powering through things and working through things no matter what, that I do feel like I have a sort of message to bring with it. And I really believe that at the end of this project, I can stand here and tell you that if there is anything that you are trying to accomplish in life, that you're trying to do, I can't sit here and vouch for you and tell you that 100% it's gonna happen, that you're gonna be able to do anything you set your mind to. But I can tell you that if you do your damnedest to try to accomplish, if you do everything in your power to try to accomplish it, there is no doubt that you'll see results. And in my opinion, beneficial results, something good will come out of it. So I'm not gonna be the person to tell you that everything is possible. The main point of what I'm trying to say is what I've learned from this, and what I wanna try to send to you is that if there is something that you wanna do, if there's something that you feel like you can accomplish or you want to accomplish, do everything in your power to try and accomplish it. Don't give up. A big thing of it for me is I look around and I see other people that are doing something similar, and there's always going to be somebody out there that's doing more than me. I think that it's possible. I think whatever that you're trying to hope to do, I think it's possible. I personally believe in you. And I'm not saying that in a cliche way, but I truly have taught myself that I think most things in life are possible. And if they aren't possible, or maybe they're not possible for you right now, the more you work towards them, the more beneficial things will come into your life, the more good things will come into your life. I know that through this series, it's definitely not the thing I imagined myself doing in New York City. When I first came to New York City, I want to tell you guys this, I'm gonna let you in. My goal was to create super low effort videos, and a bunch of them. So I was gonna do quantity over quality. That was the point of coming to New York City, was to try to create as much content as I can. Creating this series is the complete opposite thing that I wanted to do when I came here, but I think that through that it's gonna open so many doors. Just alone the sponsorships that have come out of it, the connections that have come out of it, the people that have been messaging me saying that these guides have helped them find their way through New York City. And within myself, I feel like I know this city really, really well right now, more so than I've ever known it. And I've been here quite a few times. That for me is a huge accomplishment as well. I feel like I once again, not a guide, not an expert on New York City. I probably never will be, because I'm not a local from here. I haven't lived here for a prolonged period of time, but I know this freaking city. I know it pretty well. You know, I've traveled the city properly, in my opinion, especially for someone who's not from here. So I feel like if somebody has advice, they have questions about New York City they want to ask, I can kind of help them out with some answers. As you can tell, my demeanor is very, very different, I feel like, from where it's been the last few months. I'm just extremely happy. I'm overjoyed with the success of how everything is going here. I guess for those of you guys who just watch these walk and talks, or are specifically looking for my face in a thumbnail, I do highly suggest that you watch some of these guides and watch some of these videos, because in my opinion, they're some of the best content I've ever created. So I guess that's kind of my final point. I feel like I've just been rambling, but if you're watching this video and you're struggling with something and you can take something out of this, the biggest message is to just try. Just try your all to accomplish what you want to do in life. Whatever that one thing is, try everything you can in your power to do it. Because you better believe there's someone out there that's doing something more than you. They're trying more than you. And you should try to be one step above that person. And you should always strive to try and complete and to finish and to do well. And if you fail, that's 100% okay. I can't tell you guys how many things I failed on during this guide. But I think that's gonna be the end of that. This should be one of the last walk and talks in New York City. It's a little crazy. I'm looking at the Empire State Building right now. I want to remind you that if you want to support this series of walk and talks, just check out my Patreon down in the description below. It'll cost you $1 to leave a suggestion for a video topic. As well, you can kind of communicate with the community, and it's pretty cool. I'm trying to build this thing out. But yeah, if you want to support this specific walk and talk series, you like what you see here, you can give $1, and then you can throw that donation away next month and give another $1 whenever you want. If you don't want to support me that way, you can buy some of my merchandise down in the description below or on screen right now. And I will see you guys in the next one. I love you long time. You happy Monday, and goodbye.